Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Twaenda mbio, Kenya yaenda mbele. Kwa elimu twaenda mbele, matibabuni twaenda mbele, viwandani twaenda mbele, na mashambani twaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Eko Jamhuri, eko Jamhuri, sote eko Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Ziwa la Victoria linaunganisha Kenya na Uganda, Kenya na Tanzania. Fika Mombasa, mito wa bahari, ogelea maji, jua tamu kuota. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu. Nchi yangu nitaitoloza, nitailinda maishani mwangu.
PPMC Production.
Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Twajivunia sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka. Kenya nchi yenye baraka. Kenya nchi yenye baraka. Kenya makao yetu ni nchi ya kupendeza, kamwe hatutaiacha. Kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha. Kamwe Kenya hatutaiacha. Mwenzangu,
Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima.
Kenya kipenzi chetu,
Yes, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda, and of course when you hear that song, you know this is a Freak 24, a political talk that happens here on a daily basis. So wherever you're following this conversation, I want you to welcome everyone in this show because it is going to be a big show. Big shout out to my followers who are following me in all social media platforms. That is Facebook. I can see I have a lot of people following me through the Facebook and also Instagram, and also in my YouTube channel. There you can go and also follow me, Afrik24. This is my YouTube channel. You can follow us there and you are going to get entertained. You're going to get a lot of news. So where are you following this conversation from? And of course, you know that this is a new day. And of course, it's on Monday. You know, on Monday, you have to start with energy. 12 minutes past at 10 p.m. That is East African time. Where are you following this conversation from? And wherever you are, the question that we're asking here is Gachagua a real opposition now? After what we saw yesterday in the church, he talked a lot, and that tells you that he is now in the opposition. Now we are going to share in this show, so I welcome you. I've shared the link. You can join through the link there and give your views in the studio, because in the studio we give you that platform so that you can share your ideas live. Laban Misiani Gipsy Corner, I can see you there, my loyal followers, and also those who are following us in the Facebook. I can see we are almost 40 live who are following this conversation. So join the studio so that you can give me your views. Why do you think that Gachagua is exposing everything that was in the government? Does this gives William Ruto attention? Because you know Gachagua was in the government, but now is not in the government. Does it give William Ruto the attention for 2027 and also in the government? And of course, William Ruto has responded after Gachagua yesterday's speech in the church, and Gachagua today still spoke in deep villages. It is now head to head, Gachagua versus William Samoei Ruto. Some of the leaders are saying that it is now officially that Gachagua has joined opposition and he will be joining the other members of the opposition. Is this true? So I welcome you in the show. I can see Gipsy Kona. Laban Misiani is saying that Gachagua cannot be opposition. He's just on misleading commission. How is he misleading? Give Laban Misiani, you can also tell us. Join the studio here. I've shared the link. Join and tell us how is Gachagua misleading the public? Because he's saying that he warned the president about the Adani deal, and the president went ahead and accepted the Adani deal, which later he came to drop. Warned the president against the finance bill, which president went ahead and he dropped it. So what does it mean? Does it mean that Gachagua was the only person, and also he condemned Kithure Kindiki for being the DP after taking over the position after his impeachment? He said that he is only there to say yes, yes. He will not even question anything that is taught by William Ruto. That is Kithure Kindiki, and that is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. So where are you following this conversation from? Where are you following this conversation from? You can join us, and we come to discuss here live in Afrik 24. If you're following us for the first time, this is live Afrik 24. We are always having a show every day at 10 p.m. That is East African time. I know I have a lot of followers all over the world. I have followers from United Kingdom, followers from United States of America, city of Atlanta, Georgia, city of California, city of Virginia. Those who are following this conversation, you are welcome here as we share more about the politics in this country. And Gachagua giving tension to William Ruto is the main topic that we are discussing here after Gachagua exit, whereby he was impeached. Now he is revealing everything. Yesterday he spoke about the Adani deal and anything that really made him separate with his former boss, that is William Ruto. He really apologized to the Kikuyu community because he said that he trusted the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto. He thought that they will go far, but at the end of the day, he was betrayed. That is the former DP, and he has been giving a series of speeches since he was beached. And Kenya, some are saying that it is as a result of anchor issues. Others are saying that Gachagua is going to come back stronger in 2027 after what happened. It is going to be a tough game in 2027. All those are the politics in this country. All those are the politics in this country, and you join me through the link that I've shared there live as we discuss also on some of the leaders who formed the broad-based government, the likes of Junet Mohammed, the likes of Pio Wantai, who are really accepting and also trying to agree with the government. Yet when they were in the opposition, they were really condemning the government. They're now accepting what the government is saying. And I have seen a comment and also a clip whereby Junet Mohammed is saying that it is high time now we renovate the JKIA. He's saying that JKIA looks like the Migori bus stage. That is why he thought that William Ruto was doing a good thing by renovating the JKIA. But the question that I was asking myself is, does it mean that we have solved everything in this country in terms of agriculture, in terms of health, in terms of education? Before we go to the air, have we solved roads in this country before we go to the air, which is the means of transport? That I think that is the last means of transport, because not all the people used air transport, but roads are used by anyone on a daily basis. You can walk, but you cannot walk on air. So what was the mission there for renovating the JKIA or giving the Adani the JKIA? Gachagua, he spoke, by the way, yesterday. He said that Kindiki is just there for yes. Let's listen to what he said. And you can join the studio live here in Africa 24. You will share your ideas with the Kenyans who are following this conversation here live.
Those things I was telling the president the truth. But leaders wako pale around him, psychopaths. Wanamdanganya rais. A man who was popular hapa kwa mlima. Popularity yake iko juu ama iko chini sahi? Iko chini ama iko juu? Because people are lying to the president. Instead of just being forthright and tell him there is a problem. This mountain is unsettled. Kenya is unsettled. Find out what is the problem. They are just cheating him. That people are being mobilized, at watu napewa pesa. Lakini uzuri ya hii uongo, siku yake tu ni chache. Uongo naendelea kidogo kidogo, unakuja kukutana na ukweli pahali nafika. So sisi viongozi muendelee kusaidia wananchi, continue speaking for these people, muteterea doaya na mumariririe. Toro matiri na mundu wako matetera. Nitwarikane na muthie thiguku na ni njokanirie meciria na tongoria. Uria tukauga Januari ni hau. Twarikane na njira ndino ni hau. Guthie ni gwikane. And let me say, this mountain, next year, the political movement that will start in this mountain, 202 will look like a joke. And we shall join other Kenyans to get on the right trajectory and define our destiny. But let me assure everybody that never again shall any leader take this mountain for granted, and never again shall we ever gabble our vote. Our vote will be well organized, well calculated, well anchored, and protected, so that the mountain will never find itself in a very awkward position we find ourselves in. That despite having contributed the majority in government, we are mere spectators and outsiders. Wengine ndio wako pale. Pale KRA watu wetu wamefutwa kazi. Wapi watu wamefutwa? Nikiongea wacha ukabila. Nikisema watu wetu wapewe viti, wacha blackmail. Yet we contributed very immensely to this administration. We'll be very careful. Makosa ile mingi sana ni yangu, na mimi naomba msamaha. I did a lot of political miscalculation probably for lack of sufficient experience. But now I know. Unejoe. Geke kirima gutire mundu ringi ugathaka nakio. Tukibanga giikare wega. Nigetha ringi mundu ndakae ugatuthakira katiguo. Kana tuteithie mundu atuonie mugongo. Koguo nie ni ndakena muno na nĩ nyendete kũina rĩa ibuku rĩu rĩakwa rĩ hau ũkai heshimu gatũina rwĩmbo rũmwe nĩ mũkwenda tũina rwĩmbo rũmwe rwĩmbo namba inyanya.
Yes, that is Rigathi Gachagua, who is the former deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and he is saying Gachagua is saying that the mountain will never fall into those false things. Someone who will lie to them that the mountain will never fall into those things. The mountain is now aware, and also is comparing the 2002 political campaigns to what is going to happen in 2025. What is going to happen in 2025? Gachagua is saying that 2025 is going to be a real political campaign. So is the court going to give him that accessibility to vie for any political seat for 2027? Because he's saying that, you remember, he was also saying the youth should go and register for the votes. Gachagua, will he become the opposition of this country after being impeached? Is he going to be the official opposition for William Ruto? Now he is out of the government. What is going to happen? Because leaders are saying that after impeachment of Gachagua, maybe this will be the downfall of William Samoei Ruto. Maybe this will be the downfall of William Samoei Ruto in 2027. But you remember Cleophas Malala, once he was saying that if at any point he's going to accept the impeachment of Gachagua due to the handshake. You remember there was an handshake. The handshake that happened in a secretive way. William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga has been having those handshakes with the government in a secretive way. The Gen Z were in the roads calling for the finance bill to be dropped, calling for an incompetence cabinet secretaries in William Ruto government, that is Kenya Kwanza. And now at the end of the day, Raila Amolo Odinga, together with other members, they joined the government, the broad-based government. And whereby the likes of Opiu and I, the likes of Wycliffe or Paranya, the likes of Joe, John Buddy, they formed the government. Now they are in the government. The Gen Z, they have won severally because you remember the finance bill was dropped. You also remember that William Ruto, he dismissed the entire cabinet. You also remember after Kenyans complained about the Adani deal. The Adani deal, also William Ruto dropped it. And this one is causing a lot of debate in the Kenyan leaders. They are asking, why did William Ruto drop this Adani? Does it mean that he never knew this Adani was corrupted? Does it mean that he has sensed something? Now, the likes of Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, the likes of Senator Onyonga, the likes of George Natembea, they are calling for this investigation. They are calling for investigation of this Adani deal. They are calling for this Adani to be investigated on why it was invited to this country. Because you remember, other leaders were saying that the Adani has been so corrupted. It has been involved in various corruption issues. And also, after the Adani was arrested in the United States, now this is what has raised issues. And during the state of emergency, whereby William Ruto was given the state of emergency, he said that he has dropped this Adani. and the members of parliament really clapped. Now the leaders are calling for the investigation why this Adani was dropped. Why did William Ruto drop this Adani? That is what the leaders are calling. But you remember, William Ruto is very sensitive. My good friend Akal Simba, he told me that during this time, when the state of emergency was going to be given, was going to be addressed in the parliament, William Ruto, it was that time when the state of emergency was delayed for some minutes. And that is where the change of plans, the change of address was issued immediately, because they thought that this Adani can cause a lot of issues when it comes to leaders and also to the Kenya Kwanza government. But now, the likes of Senator Onyonga, the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, and also the church leaders are calling for proper investigation of this Adani deal. Why was it dropped? Why do we have this Adani deal being dropped? And yet, it was said that it is the most efficient company that will deal with JKIA, which is the parastatal of this country. Is Gachagua joining the opposition?
In the United States, it did not come from his heart, so there was no need to clap for him. Mimi nauliza tu, I would like to ask my brother, President William Ruto, kwa heshima kubwa sana, to take time to read the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31, which says, and you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Let him agree to listen to the people of Kenya, because it is the people of Kenya who gave him that job. The people of Kenya are his bosses. It is so sad that it has to take the intervention of the American government for us to listen to what our people are saying. Kabla Amerika waongee juzi, sisi tulikuwa tumeongea kitambo. Wakenya walikuwa wameongea, lakini hakuna mtu nasikiza. Siku kulikuwa mambo ya avocado, huyu mreu alikuja kuniona. Taxation ya watu ya makorofia. Wakulima wakiwa wamelia, they came to see me. Nikaita hiyo watu ya avocado kuwasikiza. Niliitwa nikasomewa, nikaambiwa niko na ukabila because walikuwa wametoka Murang'a. Siku tumekuwa na shida ya taxation ya watu ya biashara pale Nyamakema, pale Taveta Road, pale Nyamakema. Walikuwa nalipa container 2.5 ikaongezwa mpaka 3 million, nikawaita kuwasikiza, nikaambiwa ni ukabila. I want to ask our government, tulichaguliwa na watu, tusikize watu. Na kanisa litatusaidia sasa, kwa sababu pale kwa serikali mimi peke yake ndio nilikuwa naongea. Yule amepewa kiti yangu hawezi ongea, si mfanyikazi ya rais. Anaweza sema kitu? There's nothing he can do. Ministers are appointed. There's nothing they can do. What the president says, wanasema. Sasa what is shocking us ni ya bunge. You know, we can't believe it. Wabunge walienda wakapitisha Finance Bill 2024. Mimi nilikuwa kwa cabinet, peke yangu ndio nimepinga. Nikasema nikisikiza raia hawataki hii maneno, mheshimiwa rais, tafadhali tusiwasukume wa Kenya, watatuletea balaa. Rais akasema bana, you don't have to do what is popular, you do what is right. Nikamwambia that's okay Mr. President, but if the majority of Kenyans who elected us and we are democracy are saying it is not right, how can we insist it is right? So hakuna mtu pale anaweza ongea. Sasa wabunge finance bill wakapitisha, na nyinyi wenyewe mmekataa. Saa ile lilete bala, rais akawaita pale. Wale kwanza viongozi ya Mlima Kenya ndio walipangwa pale mbele. Niyo maigetogetekia mbere. Mathe kaga makoneka ria gituri. Ate muthamaki ni yaria akuganya muyo tijega no ruhe marahura, na niyo mahitukitie. Siku wameitwa ati wanitoe, wamepewa pesa, wengine wametishwa. Senator moja ameenda Kirerembe, ameulizwa kwa nini ulitoa Rigathi, anasema niliitwa State House nikaambiwa. Sababu Oh, ilikuwa gani? Hata hakuuliza sababu. Juzi mambo ya Adani, wanapiga debe, Adani ni mtu mzuri, nini. Rais kusema hii Adani ni mkora vile wazungu wamesema. Wakanaamuka wanaita rais ati Igwe. Si mliona? Igwe. Mliwaona? You know the kind of the quality of our legislators is wanting. Na hapa katika mlima, ndimwire. Haria tutagacoka ringi. Tutige kora irima riri turi. Atongoria aria turithuraga mane tugwikira kabiru. Tondu twathura andu akuhangira nda ciao mane tuona uru. Abunge majority aria tuthurite guku kirima ni kunda ngutume.
Gachagua, that is the former DP. He is really revealing a lot of secret when it comes to the government. And I think this is one of the things that will give tension to William Ruto, because whatever he's saying, even Kenyans are saying this is true. He is standing on his own, because on 2022, when they were fighting for this seat, he was the one who is now saying he rejected the finance bill alone. He's the one who is saying that he doesn't want all those things in this government. But now William Ruto, who is now the president, he said that this is not true. Just do what is right. He is really quoting what William Ruto said directly on what William Ruto said. And you know, William Ruto is the kind of president who would never want to be questioned. So I think this is the one thing. And of course, Gachagua said that this is the one thing that really made him to get impeached, whereby he was taken out of the government by senators. And also some of the senators, they don't know why they impeached him. One of them, as he quoted, that is the former DP Gachagua yesterday, he was asked, why did you impeach Gachagua? And he had no option to say. He had no answer. So Gachagua is still there fighting. And Adani Misiani, I can see you in the comment section together with Gibbs Corner. I see he said that Gachagua cannot be opposition, just misleading Kenyans. How is he misleading Kenyans? Because you're saying that he is misleading Kenyans. How is Gachagua misleading Kenyans? Because you know that he is saying the truth. You know, from my point of view, I think the honest man is saying the truth. How is he misleading Kenyans? You can tell us, Adani Misiani. And also he's saying that the central majority vote is now but embarrassed of tyranny of numbers. He's saying that Matiang'i for president. In the comment section, someone is saying that Matiang'i for president and Kalonzo for prime cabinet secretary, better option. Do you think that Kalonzo is going to accept this prime cabinet secretary? And you know, the eastern region, the likes of Kambani, and also some of the leaders, and also Azimio, the other members of Azimio who are not in the government, they're saying that it is high time Kalonzo now stands on and he goes for this seat, because you just need to go for it the same way William Ruto went for it in 2022. Despite the deep state, despite the president who was the former president Uhuru Kenyatta supporting Raila Odinga, but at the end of the day, William Ruto clinched that seat. So he's saying that Matiang'i and for president, you know, and Matiang'i, after he launched that rumors that is going for the president in 2027, a lot of cases have been filed, and I've been following the conversation in the Twitter, whereby some of the Kenyans are saying that after Matiang'i launched this 2027 general election campaign, now it is when they decided to enroll those cases for Matiang'i. Is this the constitution of Kenya? Are we having democracy? Didi Nyoro for deputy. When deputy, Didi Nyoro for deputy. And remember, Didi Nyoro did not vote for impeachment of Gachagua, but the mountain, as you can hear, the mountain is still erupting. But the introduction of the Adani deal has raised a lot of concern. And you can hear even the DP Gachagua, he is saying that the legislators in this country, you know, we have three arms of the government. The arms of government are three. We have legislature, we have the executive, and also we have judiciary. You know, judiciary is the only arm of government that is independent. And, you know, during this time, it is when Gachagua thinks that judiciary will give him time for 2027 general election. is going to vie for 2027. And that is why he's saying the youth in the Mount Kenya region and every part of Kenya who really supported him, they should now go and register as voters, because in 2027 is when the Kenyans are going to decide on who they are going to vote. 2027 Kenyans are going to decide on who are they going to vote for. And Gibbs Sekona said that well or yes, Gachagua is really guilty. How is Gachagua guilty, Gibbs Sekona? How is he guilty? You can also tell us how is Gachagua is guilty for this, because you know he was in the government and maybe he's being trapped by the Henka issues. That is why he's saying the William Ruto government, they are not listening to the Kenyans. As you remember, the finance bill, as he has said, and also the Adani deal. And when did this honest man listen to the Kenyans? Because you remember, it is during this time when these issues started, and after the true enemy, Migori County. I was following this conversation very keenly because here we were also discussing on those things. It is during their tour in Tharaka Nithi. Remember, they went in Tharaka Nithi County, and also they went in Murang'a, and also they went to western part of Kenya and then Migori. You remember Junet Mohammed and the likes of Oburu Odinga saying that even in Kisumu, you remember William Ruto and Gachagua Bay award given those big, huge fish by those Kisumu residents, which raised a lot of concerns after what Kenyans stamped at betrayal. Because after William Ruto appointed Opiyo and the likes of Johnny Badi into the government, it is when he went to the tour in the western region, and they said that he is really trying to bring the Luo nation, the Lake region, into his arms. That is when he will win the 2027 general election. But now there is a tension after Gachagua impeachment. Now, if Gachagua is going to be given this room by the judiciary, and this is only going to happen if judiciary is going to be firm with what they are going to say, if judiciary are going to give him that rule to vie for 2027 general election, Gachagua should go home and enjoy the grass. That is a Gypsy corner. Why are you saying the honest man should go home and enjoy the grass? And also he's saying that why was Gachagua not giving us this juice while staying in the government? But he was still revealing the secret. You remember during the anti-finance protest and also finance protest where he went to Mombasa, and he raised a lot of concern. And James Mburu is saying that msema ukweli apendwi, saying that msema ukweli apendwi. But you remember, this is Kenya Kwanza government, and they have own rules and regulations on what to do on a specific time. Some of the leaders are still saying that the Adani deal should be investigated. Gachagua still said that why did William Ruto had to listen to the Americans so that he can drop the Adani deal? Does it mean that Kenyans have no voice into this government? Does it mean that he doesn't listen to the Kenyans? Because it is during this Adani arrest in the United States whereby William Ruto went ahead to listen to Kenyans, and now he dropped the Adani deal. And now it is raising a lot of concerns. Now it is high time leaders are saying we have to investigate. Kalonzo Musyoka is saying that we are going to expose William Ruto and his government. We are going to expose him and his government for what they did. How are they going to expose him? How are they going to expose him? You can tell us. And if you are joining us for the first time here, you can also go to our YouTube channel, Afrique. You search there, Afrique 24. That is where you're going to get us. Like there, comment. And the first thing you have to go, Afrique 24 YouTube channel, like there, comment, and subscribe. Because we are going to get all those news, and every day 10 p.m. I am always here, East African time, to give you the best and the best news. We also have every day a political talk that happens here. Make sure you have a date with us, because we are going to give you all those news in Afrique 24. Kalonzo Musyoka had to speak, and this is what he said.
Kwa hivyo mambo ya Adani deals ni hiyo, sio tu nilipaswa kusema mambo ya Bangladesh. Huyo Adani alikuwa amepatiwa kandarasi ya 30 years, miaka 30, kupeleka kawi umeme nje ya Bangladesh. Lakini kulipotokea msukosuko, the country could not afford. Kwa hivyo alikuwa katika mstari wa kukatia nchi nzima electricity. Imagine kama tungeendelea na Ketraco na Adani, alafu huku maharamia waje wapitie katika hewa yetu, anga yetu, walete kutokuwa na usalama. What will this country be? We will have sacrificed our sovereignty. Yani wale wazee wetu walipigania uhuru watakuwa wamefanya mambo bure kabisa. I'm told, I don't know how true it is, I'm told hata rais ambaye amechaguliwa Marekani, Donald Trump, alisema nimempigia Mr. Ruto nikamwambia no president can sell a national airport. Yeye mwenyewe kama ni hivyo basi ijulikane wazi kuna vitu vya kuchezea na vingine haviwezekani. Kwa hivyo tutaendelea na harakati hizi kabla ya kwenda Apostle 2027. We have work to do now. Na tutakuwa watu wanapiga domo because tunaenda kotini. Kwa mfano tutarudi 27 next week tupate directions. Hii cancellation ya William Ruto kusema those two contracts ziwe cancelled, maana yake ni nini? We are going to get them exposed. Apostle and fellow Christian, let us pray kwamba maovu ya Kenya hii yote yatatolewa wazi, yatawekwa wazi, kila mwizi ajulikane, ili nchi ipone vilivyo. So it is obvious, national, they call it social health assurance, social health something. Ni kama anataka kubadilisha jina. It is not enough to change the name, Mr. Ruto. You have to go back to NHIF. Kwa sababu unampatia Apostle kazi ngumu zaidi. Wagonjwa wengi hapo wamewaombea wakapona. Ni kwa sababu ameenda hospitali hakuna dawa. Wanaona fadhali tukimbie kwa Apostle at least tuombewe. Kwa sababu dawa hawapati. We have work to reclaim our country. And I can tell you, nchi hii iko na potential ya ajabu. Ili mambo iende sawa, ndugu zangu, hamwezi kuongea juu ya 2027 wakati nchi yenyewe haina IEBC. I expected William Ruto to have addressed the nation on that matter, na kusema by now he will have constituted a 9-man committee, 9-man, 9-woman committee, whose responsibility it is to get in place electoral and boundaries, independent electoral boundaries commission. Sasa hii haiwezi hata kufanya uchaguzi, na pengine anataka tu aweke watu ambao watakuwa user friendly. If Kenya is a democracy, we shall make sure it remains a democracy. There shall be an independent electoral and boundaries commission, so that when Kioni says one touch, it will be so. Lakini haiwezekani ngojee tu waweke watu hivi user friendly. Alafu unajua tulikuja hapa na ndugu yangu Raila na mother, my sister, my twin sister, tulikuwa tunaenda, we are to drop like a hot potato. Mafikira ya kwamba you can extend the term of office of elected leaders. Wakati wa Kenya wanaomba siku zitafika lini wote waende nyumbani. I'm not a prophet like you, apostle, man of God, but I pray, and I'm able to see at the current trend, all these current members of parliament constituting as they do, the 13th parliament, 95%, not less than 95% ya hawa wajiandae kwenda nyumbani, because they have let down the country. Well, they have let down the country. They have sold their conscience. Yani tafadhali, hata nafsi mnauza nafsi. Mungu aturehemu wa Kenya. Mungu aturehemu kwa Kristo wenzangu hapa ambao nawapenda sana, kwa kuonyesha umaarufu wa kuabudu bila kuogopa. Kwa hivyo, this is the way we have to go in order to redeem our country. It's going to be a little tight. It's not going to be easy. Lazima kila mtu ajikakamue. Kwa sababu kuona mtu anakuja anabeba milioni 10, alafu mwambie rudi nazo politely, saa ingine unafikiri ningezichukua alafu maybe we can do the first slap or the second slap. Lazima tujikakamue, tuseme no to the devil, ashame the devil, and liberate our country for good. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Umeenda wapi? Kwa hivyo ndio nasema hii serikali iliyoko mamlakani sasa hivi tunaambia wazi bila kusita kwamba we must be a country under the rule of law. It cannot be anything else. Tunajua bunge yenyewe imetekwa nyara, hiyo tunajua wazi. Tulikuwa tunaomba at least mahakama wajitahidi angalau, because that is the last line of defense. Ndio sasa tukiomba wakati kama huu, tukiomba the level of poverty, na hapa mimi naamini wote tumeombewa, yule ambaye alikuwa anafunga pesa zako kutoka sasa haza zangu zitafunguliwa. Alikuwa anazifunga, hapana, zitafunguliwa. Poverty has to go. And I know umaskini ndio yule adui mbaya zaidi. You look at people, watoto wamelala njaa, hawana chakula hata ya mchana, jioni hawajui watakula nini. Wakati mwingine mama anachemsha angalau mawe kidogo, sufuria ionekane inachemka, ndio watoto waone angalau some hope. This is the state of the Kenyan economy. And therefore, I'm calling on all other leaders to put aside 2027 and deal with 2024 as it is today. Because 2024 will shape 2027. Already imefanyika. I once talked about this before the Gen Zs. And the Gen Zs came up and did it. I remember.
That is the Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka speaking, and he was addressing the nation about the Adani deal. He was saying that the Adani, and also trying to expose William Ruto government in terms of how it has been performing, how the government has been performing, and the kind of ideas that has been brought into this government since they took over. And he's saying that 2024 really shaped 2027. But, you know, there is some rumors that Gachagua has joined opposition officially. So if Gachagua has joined the opposition officially, you hear Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka is saying that if we are not going to be serious, then we are going to have a failed government taking place for the next 10 years. But he's also saying that William Ruto government should be investigated on a serious note. And this is Gipsy Corner. He's saying that Kalonzo talking about a user-friendly. And of course, this is what we don't have, the IBC, that is Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission. We don't have the IBC. After what we witnessed in 2022 general election in the Bomas of Kenya, we had the Cherera 4, whereby the Cherera 4, some of the Cherera members, they have never came back to the country. We have Wefula Chebukati, and it is during the 2022 general election whereby you saw James Serengo and other members of Azimio where they went and held their press. They held their press and they said they don't agree with the results. Even before the results have been announced, they had already accepted the defeat. So Kalonzo, talking about user-friendly, he should start with his friend Raila. I don't think whether, do you really think that Kalonzo and Raila are still the same? Because I've not seen them in those meetings. I've not seen them in those congregations. And you remember, they were having all those meetings together. They were moving together. Kalonzo and Raila, they have been having those routes together. But now, after what witnessed Martha Karua exit from Azimio, and also Raila Amolo Odinga joining the government through Pew and I, Hassan Joe. I think those top members who joined the Azimio, it's like they really brought this party into split, because now we don't know where is Kalonzo, we don't know where is my good friend Edwin Sifuna. You know, Edwin Sifuna, you even saw today whereby Junet Mohammed was saying that the government is now taking the right shape. But he was also the same Junet Mohammed in the Migori County who said, if now William Ruto and his government, they are following this path by making sure that they are going to support Raila Molo Odinga, then they are going to support him. There is no one who was born to be in the opposition. This was Junet Mohammed when they were in Migori. He was saying there was no one who was going to be always in the opposition. And today he was saying that in the parliament, he was saying he is fully supporting what William Ruto and his government were doing during this time when they wanted to renovate the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. And Gibbs is saying that, you see, he's asking me that, are you suggesting that Gachagua is with Kalonzo? No, Gachagua, the marriage has not been declared officially, but there are some rumors that 2027 Kalonzo and other members might come together with Gachagua, and this treble can really give a shock to William Ruto in 2027 general election, because the youth are saying they are now awake. The youth are saying they are now awake. They are now up. They want to give their voting in 2027. Let them go and cast. Because after all this saga, if there is any youth who will not take his vote, and youth who will not vote for general election, then is the one who is going to contribute to any kind of government that is going to take over in 2027. I think Kenyans are moving from analog to digital. There's some time, you remember when Daniel Toroitich, that is the late former president of the Republic of Kenya, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, he ruled for 24 years. That is from 1978 to 2002. And it is during 2002, if you read history, that is 2002 when Kibaki was sick and he won the election. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was still in the ballot in 2002. In 2007, Kibaki won the election. That is where we had the post-election violence. And that is where we had the Ocampo 6. Some of the leaders who contributed to the post-election violence in Kenya, where a lot of people lost their lives. You heard what happened in the Rift Valley, the Mount Kenya, in Mombasa, every part of the Rift Valley, and also western part of Kenya, they had those issues, differences, whereby the post-election violence was witnessed. In 2013, that is when William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta, they took over from Raila Amolo Odinga. No, not Raila Amolo Odinga, from Mwai Kibaki. And this government ruled for the 10 years. For the first time from 2013 to 2017. That is when they were moving all together, wearing, I remember them wearing the same uniforms, the same shirts, the same coats. But in 2017, after the re-election, that is when we witness now the split of William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. William Ruto started campaigning in 2018, 2019. That is when he started campaigning for general election. Now, Gachagua was impeached, and he was in the government with William Ruto. And it is during his first term whereby he experienced DP being impeached, of which the leaders are saying, although the president did not speak, but the close friends of William Ruto, the likes of Chera Rigathi, the likes of Oscar Sudi, the likes of all those members who are close to William Ruto are the ones who speak directly to the president. So Gachagua is impeached, and now the heat is now taking over in Mountain. Gachagua is now very active politically because when he was the member of parliament in Madeira from 2017 to 2022, I think no one knew Gachagua can really be that famous. But now we have him in every Sunday, every day he has to make announcement. Gibson said he thinks that it doesn't matter how people vote. Some characters are very powerful and smart. They know how to ring. Yes, they know how to ring, but when shall this government have a free, fair general election? When shall we have free, fair, and transparent? When shall we have transparent general election as a country? The same thing we witnessed in the United States of America, whereby they voted, and in just one day, they have already forgotten what was happening in the United States. And you know, that is a very big continent. I call it continent because it is made of North and South America. They voted, that is America, they voted. And after one day, they would already forget. But if this was happening in Kenya, trust me, now we will be still questioning what is happening. We should still be in that mood for election. If that election was happening in Kenya, you saw what happened in 2022. We almost took 6 months. I don't even not 6 months. 1 year before we forgot. And we have not forgotten. Kenyans have not forgotten what happened in 2022 general election. They are still talking about 2022 general election. So when shall we have this kind of transmission? When shall we move from this? When shall we exit this and have a country that has free and transparent general election? The opposition leader, Gachagua, still speaking. He is not going to stop. That is what he is saying. He's going to speak until the truth will set him free. Do you think that he is speaking the truth? Do you think that the honest man is speaking the truth from what he's saying, from what he's addressing the public after the impeachment? Others, the likes of Gibson are saying that Gachagua should just go home and enjoy the grass. Why?
Sisi ambao tuko na nafasi mbalimbali za uongozi.
And the churches must be allowed to regulate themselves. Sisi wengine wote tukuja kanisani, praise and worship, tusikize sermon, tutoe sadaka, turudi nyumbani. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Ukiwa chief, ukiwa police, wewe kuja, sikiza. Kama iko praise and worship, if you can sing, kuja uimbe. Ukimaliza utoa sadaka uende nyumba? Si iko namna hiyo? That is the way it must be. Tafadhali tusiende hiyo barabara. Hiyo ni barabara ya kupotea. Ya kujibisana na kanisa, kuingilia kanisa, kutaka kujua ati sermon itakuwa juu ya nini. These men of God, they know, they read the Bible. They only interpret the Bible every Sunday differently. Vile Mungu amewaonesha. Na tukifanya namna hiyo itakuwa sawa sawa. So, mimi sina maneno mengi. Yangu tu ni kusema asante sana. I want to thank the people of Kajiado North. Kwa maombi yenu. Umeniombea sana. Na mimi sina stress, mimi nimerelax vizuri sana. Si ndio? Hasa hakuna mtu analaumu kwa ile shida iko Kenya. Wengine walaumiwe wajibu. Mimi ni mtu sasa ya kuangalia. Hata Uhuru Kenyatta, president wetu jana alisema yeye anaangalia TV, anasikiza radio. Hata mimi naangalia TV, nasikiza radio. Wacha wale wanaendesha wafanye nini? Lakini waheshimu viongozi wetu wa kidini. Let us see and wait and see how things are going. Kama Rigathi Gachagua ndiye alikuwa shida, ndio mlikuwa mnaweka ushuru ikuwe juu, mpunguze sasa vile ametoka. Si iko namna hiyo? Yes. Hizi barabara zote zimesimama kama Edi alikuwa amesimamisha simumalize. Si ndio? These things, you know Kenyans are very intelligent people. Kenyans are very intelligent people. And I think a lot of people are taking Kenyans for granted. These Kenyans know everything. Kwetu wanasema madoma amebasha. Neguo. Nimona madoma amebasha. Kule ndo motoi. Na ndio mimi nilisema kama kiongozi. Siku tumesumbuliwa watu wetu karibu na kasirika, naambia hapana. Wafuasi wengi wangu are business people, ni watu ya biashara, ni watu ya kutafuta mali, ni watu ya kujenga. Mimi siwezi kubali kuambia watu haribu mali, kwa sababu wafuasi yangu ndio wenye kutafuta mali, ndio wenye kuchunga mali. Mimi nitakuwa mjinga. I'll be a very stupid leader to ask my supporters to destroy property which is theirs. Nilisema tu watu wanyamaze. Mukire ki na mutikarie. But if you feel you have to express yourself in song and dance. Kati huo. Ukigwa no ahiukirwo ri. Uguthithie kirwimbo. Neguo. Hawa viongozi huyu Gogoyo kuja hapa na senator. I want to talk because
That is the honest man from Mount Kenya region. That is Rigathi Gachagua. Hey, do you agree? If you're following this conversation, please, you can also tell us, do you really agree that Gachagua has joined the government as the opposition? Now, because whatever he's saying, he is really he's saying that even the government now should work, because they were complaining that the honest man from the region is the one who really meant this government not to do their work. But now he is out of the government. Now they should work for the people of Kenya. He is forcing that. So does it mean that he has officially joined the opposition in 2027? And before 2027, is this a signal that things might eat up in this country before 2027? As the former deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua. So remember, this is Africa 24, your top stories and political discussion here. And we're discussing, do you think that Gachagua has officially joined opposition in 2027? So if you're following us for the first time, remember this is Africa 24. You are following us through the Facebook, in our YouTube channel, that is Africa. That is Africa 24. You can also support me by subscribing to my YouTube channel, and that is the only way you're going to help this channel grow every day. We have news there on a daily basis, news that cover every stories here in this country. We unlock stories from all over the world, and we give you those stories live, and also give you the platform to share with us, give you the platform to engage with other Kenyans on what is going to happen in this country in terms of politics, because you know politics is really a good thing that happens in this country, and it is during this time when Kenyans are looking forward for any leader who's going to transform this country. Kenyans are looking forward to having a leader who is going to transform this country into a country that the pride of this country will be recognized, because Kenyans are still questioning, where is the common mwananchi, where is the hustler nation? Because after what we witness is Kenyans are still saying the hustler nation is not giving what they promised. Gypsy gonna say that Gachagua is acting and looking for sympathy. He has to try hard. Gypsy Kona, you know, Gypsy Kona, you're my good friend, but how is the honest man trying to find sympathy? How? Because personally, I don't think whether it's going to find sympathy by trying to defend the mountain. And personally, if even if it was anyone from Eastern Coast region, even if today we have Asa Joe being the deputy president. He will talk about the coastal region. You cannot even miss to talk about your area. So I never saw anything that Gachagua did, by the way. But there are some things that Kenyans don't agree. And personally, I don't agree on what they did. But anyway, this is politics, and politics is a mind game. Politics is a mind game that really cooks in this country. Do you agree that Gachagua has joined the government? Gipsy Corner, are you agreeing that Gachagua has joined the government? If so, then you can tell me here live. Join the studio through the link that I've shared there, and we shall be happy to have you on board in Africa 24. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you go there, like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the only way you can support this channel as we discuss on Gachagua stories on how he's taking moves in this country after what we witnessed in this country. Senator Onyonga is the senator of Kisii, and he said that proper investigation must be done on this Adani, because this is the time when William Ruto should be investigated together with Adani and his Kenya Kwanza government. And he is complaining a lot when it comes to William Ruto government. Take a look on what Senator Onyonga said. Onyonga.
Sababu ni kuwa Your Excellencies, my Governor, Honorable Tichilo, Your Excellency Governor Baraza, my two senior friends and leaders from this area, Mama Jane, watoto wa CS, you young gentlemen may not know me, but your father was a thug with me. He was a thug friend. You know what that statement means. We were good friends. We would criticize each other. We would run through the emotions of intellect and academe. I want to also recognize certain individuals that I've seen here that are very special to me. I'm actually surprised that those gentlemen are here. Mheshimiwa Balozi Vitisia, nilikuwa na wewe Burundi wakati nilikuwa waziri wako. Borrowed a lot. It is during Ruto's time we have borrowed 7 trillion shillings. What you know, I wonder what you people think about. Can you please tell Musalia, who was my classmate, our country is in a mess. This country, look at these people. They have no food. They have no jobs. Young people are walking around as if they're losing their minds. And then you people are walking around and saying, they shifts, you shaft. Ambia Musalia, ambia William Ruto, hiyo shaft hatutaki. Hiyo kitu ni Adani. Bwana Agoi, munauza airport ya Kakamega bwana. Munauza Nairobi. Munauza Kisumu. Mpaka port ya Mombasa munauza kuuza. Musalia hawezi kusema kitu.
Hey, that is Senator Onyonga. And Senator Onyonga is saying that the SHAF should be declined, should be stopped from taking over. He's also saying that the Adani Group should also be stopped, and of course, William Ruto dropped. So he was saying, William, it is during this time when William Ruto government borrowed a lot of money. 7 trillion. You know, trillion is a large number of money. It's a large number because we have thousands. From thousand you go to million, then you go to billion, then you go to trillion. I think we have a lot of debts in this country because when you see the status of the borrowings in this country, then you know we have to pay a lot of money. And does it mean that Kenya is poor? Does it mean that Kenya has been poor country such that it cannot stand on its own? But remember, the president also said I will make sure that this government will also depend on itself. I'll make sure that Kenya will stop from borrowing from other countries. That is the William Ruto government when he was speaking. He said that he will make sure that his government will never borrow, and also he will stand with his government. That is William Samoei Ruto. You know, Mumia's Eastern P. Salasia, that is Peter Salasia, others they call him comedian. He said that the ODM has been betraying Kenyans. ODM has been making Kenyans go astray. Because on what we are experiencing now, Raila, the likes of Junet, the likes of Joe, and also the likes of Babo, there is no unity now in the Orange Democratic Party. And I've not heard Edwin Sifuna speaking. That is the other guy who really speaks on what cooks on his mind. He has never spoken. He's just silent. I just heard him questioning Sakaja on why he always comes late during those committee meetings. He is the senator of Nairobi County. Gibbs is going to say that, remember, I used to call Gachagua a saint. In the comment section, this is Gibbs going to say that, remember, I used to call Gachagua a saint, but he looks like at the face of it is Ruto's body. Used to call him a saint, but now he looks at his face and it's like he is a Ruto's body. That is a deep statement coming from Gipsy Corner, our loyal followers who is following us through our comment section. So the comment section there, I've shared the link to the studio. You can join the studio and tell us, what do you think Gachagua is trying to join the government? In 2027, are things going to eat up? In 2027, are we going to have Gachagua forming this government as opposition? And maybe this can be as a result of his impeachment.
Mimi naitwa Peter Salasia. Najua wengi mnanionanga tu kwa mitandao, leo mmeniona live. Lakini muhimu sana ambayo Mheshimiwa Boko Milema amesema ya kwamba the county governments must work. Na kuwork kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa nafikiria in a layman's language ya kwamba kama tulikuwa na ile 384, mbona tusiwapatie hii 384 billion, alafu ile ya juu hiyo tuongeenge kama already there is operation in the process. I think we could have done it the way it's supposed to be, so that other than kusimamisha everything, we make everything to ama sijui ni excuse ya ndio ku make sure that ya governors wakuwe sasa ndio wanafuata mkondo ya serikali kisema na wanasema wanafuata hiyo. Lazima pia tuanze kupatiana independent into the counties. So I want to support Mheshimiwa and maybe Mheshimiwa Mboko Milema. Let us take that one into the committee ya budget. Let us allow hiyo 384 nyo nasema. Alafu ingine to negotiate kama already there's operation in the place. Otherwise, mimi nataka kusema tu ya kwamba sisi tukiwa hapa tumeona wabunge wakina Mboko Milema mlikuwa kule kwa bunge. Wakati president alisema ana cancel maneno ya Adani, mulipiga makofi kama nini? Sasa mimi nashindwa, wakati nyinyi mlikuwa mmenyamaza. Peter Salasia alikuwa anasema na wengine wachache, lakini nyinyi mlikuwa mmenyamaza. Wakati president anasema, nyinyi wote mnaamuka mnapiga makofi. Hii inaonyesha kama sisi wabunge tuko kama kondoo ambayo tumepatia nguvu zetu rais wa Kenya. Uwezi kuwa executive tena uko kwa katika executive uko kwa oversight ambayo ni legislative. And hiyo ndio inafanya wananchi wa Kenya wanakosa imani na bunge letu la Kenya. And I think we need to go back to the drawing board. Ndio tumesema. And mimi nataka niseme hivi. Nataka nishukuru nyinyi wa governor. Juzi nimeona wabunge wetu wa hapa Western wameenda huko na sisi tukiwa hapa, ule ambaye alitengeneza constitution ya Kenya alijua kwamba mbunge lazima kuwa independent ndio provide oversight to the government. ndiye akaleta maneno ya kera ili mabarabara zifike huko, tukue na shida ifike katika ground. Akasema CDF ikue pale. Ndio mbunge usiku unaenda State House kwenda nozi kunyirisiria nozi kunyirisiria nozi kunyirisiria. Na hata ndio mliona kwa bunge ambao walienda huko, mimi sijakuwa pale. Kwa sababu tumesikia stories za rais na kizungu mingi. Ndio mimi nataka niulize wabunge ya kwamba leo tumekuja hapa wakadanganya huyu gavana wetu huyu Baraza. Wakamdanganya wanataka kwenda kutengeneza hii Buhungu Stadium. Wakakuja wakang'oa kila kitu, wakaacha kila kitu, wanamwacha kwa aibu. Wametoka hapo, mabarabara zetu zote zilianzishwa na Uhuru Kenyatta ziko hapo. Hii air strip yetu tulikuwa tunaenda hapa. Ati mapotholes kidogo wamekataa, hakuna operation. Tuko na rais, tuko na wabunge. Tumeenda consultation gani hiyo ambayo tunaenda pale? Sasa mimi nataka niseme hivi kama nikiwa hapa Kakamega, ya kwamba tumechezewa for a very long time. Na mimi nataka niambie viongozi wetu ambao wako hapa, nyinyi mfanyie wananchi kazi. Nataka gavana Otichilo, shikilia watu wako Afrika vizuri. Shikilia watu wako vizuri. Mheshimiwa Baraza, fanyia watu wako kazi vizuri. Kama mimi Peter Salasya nafanya pale. Maneno ya chama inatumia sisi kama mrukenge. Mtu akishakula, akishashiba, anasahau kila kitu. Ndio leo mimi nataka nitangaze nikiwa hapa ya kwamba hatutaenda kutumiwa na mtu yeyote. Mheshimiwa Baraza, mtu asitue wewe na maneno atina ODM na nini. Wewe ukifanya kazi yako vizuri, utaenda ndani na mimi nitakushika mkono na utakuwa gavana wa Kakamega. Mimi nataka niseme hapa nikiwa hapa ya kwamba wewe wakati ulipatiwa nafasi ya kuwa kiongozi huko, umeenda pale ukasahau wananchi, unaanza kusupport maneno ya Adani. Tumetoka hapo maneno ya Adani, unaitisha viongozi wa Luya unaweka pale. Ulikuwa umetupromise sisi utatupatia kiti cha CS wa finance. Mungu wakakupatia Gen Z. Ukapatiwa. Wakati umepatiwa, umepeperusha, umepeleka huko, umeacha, umepatiwa Paranya Fuliza. Alafu utatoka hapa ukuje kusema hakuna. Mara hii nimetangaza msimamo na nimetangaza hali hatari ya kwamba hakuna mtu yeyote atatumika hapa. Mheshimiwa Baraza, fanya kazi, mimi nakuangalia pale. Na mimi nitakushika mkono na utakuwa governor, lakini maneno ya ODM uende na pole, sitaki ujinga ODM hapa. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Nataka niseme mama.
That is Peter. That is Peter Salasya. Ala Salasya kweli. Peter Salasya anafyeka. Anasema kwamba mambo na chama ya ODM puzi hawataki kabisa. Because ODM people have been acting so selfish, and whenever they are full, they get their shares, then they forget about the others. And also, he is also giving a disclaimer in 2027 that things might be odd than what people thought. There's no Aluya personnel who is going to be used to give ports for free. They're going to stand with their own tribe in 2027 so that they can represent their region in 2027. And also, Peter Salasya is saying that Ruto government is just pulling those who are acting as opposition close so that in 2027 things are going to be easy for them. Salasya is one of the best MPs, of course. He said that members of parliament are now clapping after William Ruto dropped the Adani deal. But yet, when the Kenyans were complaining, they were silent. They never acted on the Adani deal. But after William Ruto dropped the Adani, that is the time they just wake up and started clapping. And he is also comparing him to other members who were still supporting the Adani, but few members were saying Adani should be stopped. He is also trying to execute on rules on the roles of the arms of government, the legislature, executive, and the judicial. The lawmakers, that is the parliament, has not been firm. We have the constitution of this Kenya, and from what we hear is that the constitution of this country has not been embraced the way it should be. And we hear there is some suggestion that they want to change. They want to increase the term limit into 7 years. 7 years. They want to increase the presidential term limit from 5 to 7 years. That was a suggestion that was brought in by the Nandi Senator Cherargei. And you know, Cherargei is close member of William Ruto. Say Cherargei is one of the close members of William Ruto, whereby he said that it is high time they increase the term limit of president to 7 years. And Kenyans were questioning. Does it mean that in these 5 years, it is not enough for the president and the government to work for the people of Kenya? We have been having this 5 years since we got the constitution, but now they want to change it. We also had the finance bill, and the country has been having these complaints from the Kenyan citizens, whereby mathematically these things are not adding up. Africa 24, this is your daily political talk here, and you can join in the studio through the link that I've shared there, so that you can also give your views. You can also share with us on what do you think is going to happen in 2027. Do you think that Gachagua is going to come together with William Ruto, and that is with Kalonzo Musyoka, so that they can compete with William Ruto in this 2027 general election? Things are eating up, and it's like now William Ruto is feeling the heat from the impeachment of Gachagua. After Gachagua was impeached, now we are having issues being raised from right, left, and center. This is William Ruto, and he was speaking, whereby he said, before William Ruto, we had the senator for Siaya, James Orengo, whereby he spoke.
This country has come from very far. And I want to ask our colleagues in Parliament, the time to be vigilant is now. There was a time when people used to be abducted from Parliament. Well, Moses Wetangula knows this, Oburu knows this. We had many members of Parliament being abducted from Parliament because it is a one-party state. And there are people who fought for it to make a difference, and one of them was Olaringo. Because the police could enter Parliament anytime. Shikuku and Serone were abducted from Parliament because Parliament was not independent, and people were alive at that time. Kenyatta, when he was told that you cannot remove members of Parliament from Parliament, and that is Shikuku and Serone, alisema hata kama wako kwa matako ya mama yao nitaondoa. These are the things that Aringo was fighting against. And Moses Wetangula, I want to remind you, because a lot of people may forget. When you are representing the family, you and Okio Mbaka, when you are doing the inquiry of the murder and disappearance of Dr. Uko, it was not very easy. It wasn't. People are laughing about. These days when I see people, I think they are crazy. This country can go to the dogs. Easily. Easily. And now that the religious community has come, I'm very happy with the Catholic Church. Because when politicians went sleeping, it was Okulu. It was not parliament, it was Okulu. It was the bishops who came up and say we either have a country or we are going to sacrifice. And at that time, if you remember, the police invaded All Saints Cathedral, where women were hiding in the cellars. So, I want to plead with members of parliament and even those in government to learn from Maringo that when something is wrong, you say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. You say it is wrong. And I want to ask our people, you better swim. Listen to me. You better swim in the open sea.
God gave his only begotten Son so that today we can equally be saved. And because God gave as an example, we are going to give in keeping so that the word of God can reach others who have not known God. And we are going to serve God through our giving. So we have absolutely no apologies to make as we give to God, because God gave first. We understand the word of God enough to know that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And that is what we're going to do. So
That is William Ruto and Senator James Orengo. And this is after the church bishops started to go against the government. They started to control. They started to give emphasis on what is happening, because we had a lot of abductions in this country, the femicide, and the church members, bishops, clergymen, they came in and they said it is not advisable. We should work as a government and control all this. They said that it is high time the president takes his duty on a serious note. But the response was whereby the Catholic bishops rejected the mandate that was given, and William Ruto responded and said that he owes no one apology on giving. He's saying that he has been constructing church for a long time, but we are having issues now. And the church, you remember some of the clergymen in the western part, they're saying wataanza maandamano waongoze wa Kenya, wataongoza wa Kenya wote waingie kwa barabara waanze kuandamana. So that is basically on the political issues that happen in this country. And the question is, do you think that Gachagua can officially join the opposition in 2027? Gipsy said that you will be surprised to see Ruto gaining the second term. Gipsy in the comment section there is saying that Ruto is going to be gaining the second term. That I take that to the straight bank, but if he wins, then well, but Kenyans need to make a decision in 2027. A decision that will make Kenya move ahead, a decision that will change the situation of this country. A leader who will listen to the Kenyans, a leader who will work for the Kenyans, a leader who will transform this country, because we have a lot of things that are really behind. In a short glimpse, we have the Ministry of Sports, Ministry of Creative, Youth Affairs, and also Sports. We don't have a stadium. Our national team man is playing outside the country whenever we have the international games. The stadiums are not there. They are getting renovated. Last weekend, we had the Mashemeji Derby that was supposed to happen in Nyayo. But it could not happen because the stadiums are being renovated. That is in the sports sector. A lot of things, the FKF having problems, but also in the education sector, the CBC is not really adding up to the parent. Again, in the security, a lot of insecurity are happening, femicide cases. So I think we need to make sure that health, we also have those SHA, NHIF transmission, whereby Kenyans are questioning why do we have this kind of transmission. So a lot of things need to be taken serious in this country, and that is why Kenyans are saying they are going to make a change in 2027, a change that will really transform this country, a change that will make Kenya move ahead, a change that will award Kenya that big change, so that we can move, so that Kenya can cope with our neighbors Tanzania and also other countries in East Africa. Remember, this is Afrique 24. You are following us for the first time through Facebook. You can go in the YouTube channel, search Afrique 24. That is AFRIQ. Then you add 24. Unaenda kwa YouTube pale, una search Afrique 24. Alafu una to follow pale, una like, alafu una subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hivyo ndio utasaidia hii channel kukua. Kila siku tuko na mazungumzo mengi ambayo tunaongelea hapa, ambayo yanasaidia Wakenya kupata mafunzo ya jinsi politics, siasa za hii nchi zinaendelea. Usikose kuungana nazi hapa kila siku. Mimi nakuwa hapa kama nahodha wa hiki kipindi ambazo tunakuwa tukiongea mambo na politics. Usikose kuungana nasi kila siku ndio tuweze kupasha, kuelimisha na kukuburudisha hapa Afrique 24. Remember to always follow us in the comment section. I can see Gipsy Kona, Labani Misiani, they're joining us, and the question is, Gachagua, will he join the opposition officially in 2024? I want to say thank you so much for those who have been following us, and I will not take this for granted as the main host in this show. I am always happy to have my audience here every day from 10 p.m. as we pioneer our shows. Okay, this is your Afrique 24 political talk.
Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Tunasonga mbele watu wote wa Jamhuri Kenya yetu. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Mwaka wa 60 umefika, tangu Kenya iwe huru. Haya sisi sote wananchi tushangilie. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Twaenda mbio, Kenya yaenda mbele. Kwa elimu twaenda mbele, matibabuni twaenda mbele, viwandani twaenda mbele, na mashambani twaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Kwa Jamhuri, kwa Jamhuri, sote kwa Jamhuri Kenya yetu yaenda mbele. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Tunajivunia Kenya nchi yetu, kweli yapendeza, kweli yavutia. Kenya nchi yetu,
tutuku